Hello and welcome to the Board Game Bunker and the series I read the rules so you don't have to in a series where I will teach you how to play a game through the power of video rather than a manual. And this week I'll be teaching you how to play Pandemic. Here is the board for Pandemic. I am set up for a 4-player game, which is arguably the best player count for this game. So the way this game works, to start off with, I will take you through everything that you need to know and we'll cover it as and when they come up. So at the start of the game, every single person around the team gets 2 of these cards. These are the player cards. In a 4-player game, it's 2 cards each. In a 3-player game, it's 3 cards each. And in a 2-player game, it's 4 cards each. After everyone has got their 2 cards, which they can freely look at, you can freely share information, you are all a team. These cards will either be an event like Silent Night, where nothing will happen in the night phase, which we will get to, or most of the time, it's a location on this map. As you can see, there is a world map covered in blue circles, yellow circles, black circles, and red circles. They are the diseases that start off in different sections. And I should point out that the Petri dishes up here, the models and the stuff you're seeing is all in this, the collector's edition tin. The basic game, I don't know what the components are. I don't have it. I've never played the basic one, so I don't know, but you won't get some of the stuff that you see here, but the game will play the same. Everyone starts in Atlanta. You've got a little research center there. The research centers we will cover shortly. However, for setup, you then take this deck that is not got anyone in and you decide how difficult you want the game. And if you want the game to be quite difficult, you make 4 roughly even piles of cards, which is somewhere like that. You then take these Epidemic cards and you place 1 on the top of every single pile. That is one of the easier difficulties. You then shuffle the piles as they are. So the Epidemic is now somewhere in amongst them. There's an Epidemic somewhere in amongst these. They could come out back to back if you're unlucky, if you can't shuffle correctly. So on and so forth, which is easier done off camera, but I'm not going to shuffle them too much because I'm not actually playing a full game. You then put this set of cards here. You then flip over the top 3 cards off this deck, being Beijing, China, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Madrid, Spain. And on each of these, you put 3 of the corresponding color cubes on their space. So 3 cubes on Beijing, and Beijing goes in the discard pile face up. You then go to Sao Paulo and you put 3 on Sao Paulo in Brazil, goes on there face up, and 3 blue ones on Madrid. What you want to call these viruses is up to you. You then take 3 more cards. Bangkok, Johannesburg, and Khartoum. They each get 2 little markers on them. So Khartoum is over here, right where I've put all the cards, and Johannesburg is also there. Both of them on the discard pile. And Bangkok also gets 2. That is in Thailand, which is down there. And then you turn over 3 more cards, Lima, Atlanta, and London, and they get 1 each. So there's a little bit of the virus in London, 1 in Atlanta, which is right where we start, and Lima is the last one, which is over here. That is how you set up your game. We are now ready to go. We have got an infection deck with epidemics in, there's already a virus on the board. Taking it in your turns now, going from one side to the other, and keep the order the same all the way through. You then take this person and you go, right, I'm going to, you can do 4 actions on your turn. You can move between lines, which is 1 action. You can clear a cube, which we may as well do since we're in Atlanta, which is 1 action. You then can move, so that's 2, 3, 4. I'm at London, but I can't do anything. And then at the end of your turn, you draw 2 cards from this. So we've got Airlift and Mexico City. You can keep them in your hand. There's a hand limit of 7 cards at all times, so you cannot go over 7. You would then have to discard straight away. You can play cards whenever you want on your turn. So for example, the Airlift that we've just drawn, it says play at any time. It's not classed as an action. You can move any one figure to any city, get permission before moving that figure. You are a team at the end of the day. Also, I should point out that each of these characters has their own special ability. So the medic, which we've just used, when he removes a token, so if we were in Madrid, which was probably the better option when we came across here, was to go to Madrid, normally an action would be remove a cube from an outbreak. However, the medic would remove all 3 tokens from an outbreak. I'm not going to go through everyone's ability. You can pick that up when you decide which character you want to play. After you have drawn 2 players' cards from this, you will then go to the Infected Cities deck. So at the minute, there is a rate of 2, which means 2 cities are going to be infected. And what that means is you turn them over and Delhi suddenly gets an outbreak of one thing. Well, that's the wrong word actually, and we'll come back to why that's the wrong word in a bit. New York also gets an infection. They go on there. Now, everyone then keeps taking their turns. If at any point you are at a research center and you have 5 of the same color cards off the area you are, well, it doesn't even have to be of the area you are in, you can research a disease token. So if I had 5 yellow cards, for example, I could research the yellow disease. What that means is that we have now cured that disease. We have the cure for that disease, which means this medic's ability where he can remove every cube from a section, anyone can now remove all of the yellow cubes only because we have researched it. Same for blue. If we research the blue, anyone could just remove all 3 of these blue cubes from Madrid. If you have cured the disease and there are no tokens on the board whatsoever of that color, so if we suddenly got rid of all of these blue cubes when we had researched the blue disease, we can flip over the blue token and now no more blue cubes can ever be on the map. So when there are 3 cubes on a city, so we'll put them back on Madrid for now, there is always the risk, which I shouldn't have shuffled this top deck and should have made it better, that an Epidemic card gets drawn when you end your player's turn. And what that does is it increases the infection rate. This infection rate here is how many cities you turn over. That's how many are going to get a cube put on them. You then draw the bottom card of the infection deck, which is obviously the bottom. So you take it out from underneath and you flip it over. Tokyo would then get 3 cubes put on Tokyo, which is over there. That goes in the discard pile. Shuffle the cards in this deck. So now these get shuffled. This is important. Every city where you know cubes have already been gets shuffled. And they get put face down on the top of this deck. You then come to the end of your turn, and I did not do this on purpose, but this brings me to the next part of the game perfectly. You've just watched me shuffle them. Madrid now gets pulled out of the infection rate. Madrid has already got 3 cubes on it, so you cannot have 4 of the same color cube on a square. So what happens if you ever need to put a 4th cube on a city that has the 3 on is an outbreak happens. You move the outbreak tracker up. If the outbreak ever gets to 8 outbreaks, you lose the game. But what that means is this blue disease in Madrid has had a massive surge, and suddenly every single country or place connected to Madrid by one of these lines, including colours not of its own, gets a blue cube put on it. So now that blue disease is spreading. You have to try and get on top of it as quickly as possible, try and cure the 3, because if there was ever a time when there was 3 cubes on Paris and Madrid got drawn and an outbreak happened, you can chain reaction every outbreak until it swoops over. If you ever cannot place one of the color cubes on the board, you lose, because the outbreak has taken over and the disease has taken over the world. You have failed to cure it in time and everyone's getting sick. If you ever run out of cards from this pile before all the diseases are cured and removed from the game, you lose. If there's many ways to lose this game, there is very few ways to win this game. You have to basically cure the entire world of every disease and get them all gone. Now, going back slightly from all that, the way you can cure these diseases, how I said before about moving these up and down, the only way you can do this is if you're at a research center. Now, the game starts with a research center in Atlanta, which is where you start the game. It is a little white building. You can see more of them here to the side. If, for example, this person was in Mexico City, which is a very poor example because Atlanta's got one right there, so you probably wouldn't do this, you can trade in Mexico City into the discard pile and you can build a research center in Mexico City. It does cut down on your cards because, like I say, you need to cure a disease, which means you need 5 cards of that color to go there. It means if you've built a research center there, you've lost one of your yellows, so you would need to try and get 5 yellows to get to a research center to then cure the yellow cards. Some people let you trade, some people let you move, some people means you only need to put 4 research ones in. The way trading works in this game, while you're in the same city, you can offer a trade with someone. However, what the rules say is that if the white was to trade with the pink, they would have to give them the card for Atlanta. You can only give the card of the color of the card of the town you are in to another person. You can hand them it. I'm pretty sure there's someone that lets you trade openly with a lot more cards, or there's like a card that lets you do that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure there is, though. It's been a while since we played. But you can get, you can basically trade more, but normally it's just one trade at a time, and it's the card of the town you are in, which makes it very difficult to save up to get that 5 number of one color, to research the cure, to do it before an outbreak happens, before this deck runs out, before epidemics happen. There's so many ways you can lose this game. So many. It's such a difficult game, but it's also one of my favorite games of all time. It's so simple, it's so easy, it looks a lot, but it's not. And I think I've just about covered everything. It's quick, they're short, these videos. There is a Let's Play happening off this on the Board Game Bunker. It is going to be one of our game nights with my meeple. But that has been how to play. That has been I Read the Rules So You Don't Have to on Pandemic. Like I say, there is already a version of this recorded. We have got it set up to be going live on the channel, so you can go check out our full playthrough on this game. And if you like it, leave a comment, subscribe. If you are new, they're all free. It helps the channel out tremendously. And if you leave comments on these videos, we will see it. We will reply. If you want to see more versions of games that we play on a Wednesday, comment and say you want to see it again, and we will replay them when we get time. We have a legacy campaign game on Fridays. There are pack openings galore happening at the minute on the channel as well. And until then, it is bye from me.